Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark, and this is the final third part of the trilogy, The Room Actors Where Are They Now Special. It's a project that I've been working on now for around 8 months. I went out there to try and interview every member of the room, and yes, it happened. So on the first part of the episode, which we only released just about a week ago, we had Robin and we also had Philip. A great start, telling us all about the Room Actors Where Are They Now mockumentary. We had talk about the Disaster Artists and what those guys are up to now. Only a couple of days ago I brought you Carolyn and Dan. Both of those guys, again, great interviews, a real insight to what it's like to be on set of The Room and work alongside Tommy Wiseau. Really in-depth interviews and great people, a lot of positive energy and just really willing to give me their time. And now we have 2 more brand new interviews. So kicking things off, we're going to be speaking to Greg Ellery, who plays Stephen in The Room. Again, a character that's kind of torn between the two. He's friends with Lisa and he's also friends with Johnny. He's at the parties trying to help break up fights and give advice, and a really great guy and a great interview. And then following that, we have Juliette Danielle, who plays the famous Lisa, the girl that's responsible for breaking Johnny's heart. One of my favourite characters in The Room and an even better person to talk to. Such a great interview coming up. I just want to say now, it's been a crazy week. We've had such a great response. The downloads have been high. We've had a top 15 podcast with The Room specials. It's been great. But not only that, we've just had the trailer for The Disaster Artist. It's been huge. It was the #1 trend on Twitter. I've seen people going insane for this trailer, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. We've had the premiere this week of the film over in America. I've seen great 5-star and 10 out of 10 reviews. I'm so excited to see this movie, but more importantly, just share with you even more insight into the world of Tommy and working on set of The Room. And today, Greg and Juliette give us a great interview. So let's get things started, okay? Here we have Greg Ellery talking all things The Room. So Greg, thanks for joining me today. First question I've got for you is, how did it all come about, your involvement in The Room?
I was just being a good actor, and I picked up my trade paper, my Backstage West, was looking through there and sending in my headshots dutifully like I did every week, and I got a call from Greg Sestero saying to come on down to the lot.
Brilliant. I mean, that seems to be pretty much the same story for everyone involved. And were you actually auditioning for the part of Stephen, or were you going there to be a certain part, or were you just auditioning to be in this film, The Room?
Oh, yeah, I had no idea about parts, anything like that. And I didn't get much of a clue when I showed up either, because Tommy had me doing kind of different sort of things. He had me pretend like I just won $1 million, and then he wanted me to make out with some actress, and she split. She said, "This is weird," and she left. But yeah, I didn't really have a clue as to what my part was or anything like that until I had actually already been hired and then showed back up in the day to act and was given a script, or a piece of a script, and then that's when I learned my name. When
you got to the audition, obviously, was that the first time you'd ever met Tommy?
Oh yeah, for sure. That was the first time I met Tommy. I wasn't sure who the director was of the show. And I thought maybe, yeah. Well, I hadn't met Tommy. I thought Tommy was someone that they had just brought in to mess with the actors, just to act crazy and mess with the actors, just see what people would do, which I thought was cool. And I told Greg that. I thought Greg was the director. He said, "No, that's Tommy. That's the director." Oh, okay. All right. So he's not the street guy you just drug in out of the alley here to mess with people.
So after you did this audition, you had done the lottery winning and all these different emotions. How long was it until you kind of had that phone call to say, "Yep, you've got the part"?
I believe I had the part that night, if I remember right. I don't know. Maybe it was the next day, but it seems like I left there hired.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure.
So let's talk about the actual filming of the film. Weeks went by, you came to set. What was your first day like on set? Obviously, at this point, you knew who the director was. You'd been told, this is Tommy, he's making the film. What was it like, trying to kind of paint a picture in my head of your first day?
I could be wrong. If it wasn't my first day, it was my second day, but I'm almost positive that it was my first day that the director of photography and his entire crew quit.
Great start.
And yeah, I believe, and they basically had Tommy cornered in the Burns and Sawyer camera house, wanting their money, and it was really tense and really ugly. I had never really been in a feature film before. What do I know? Maybe they're all like this. I have no idea. So.
Steven Spielberg's sitting there now, getting told his crew are quitting on the spot, and he's having to pay out there and then.
Oh yeah. Sure, why not? Who knows?
It's the standard. So let me guess then, you've done the film. This is what I've kind of heard from everyone that's involved. The first time you actually got to see many of the footage, was it the opening night, the premiere screening for you all? Yes, that was the first time any of us got to see it. We were struck, just absolute shock and horror at how bad it was. And then that kind of gave way to giggles a little bit, and then it just broke into hysterics. And by, I would say, halfway through, people are crying. I mean, just crying, doubled over in the aisles. And just maybe not what Tommy was looking for, but definitely a reaction, definitely a strong reaction. So what do you think it was like then at that moment when Tommy had made this film that was meant to be serious? He was trying to produce this film that he wanted to put up for awards, and the crowd and the people there are all kind of laughing at it, not with it.
I can't imagine how that must have been pretty rough for him. I would think that he didn't show it though at all. I went up to Tommy. I congratulated him on getting his movie done, and then I split. I didn't hang out for the opening party or any of that kind of stuff because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say to anyone. I didn't know what planet I was on. I had to get out of there. I just had to leave.
So what's your thoughts on it now, knowing it's 14, 15 years old and people are still paying to see it and dress up, and it sells out endless nights here in the UK when it's shown?
I have enough friends now that are big fans, and good for them. I'm glad people love it. It's a fun thing. People have a really good time doing it, so they'd love to go see and do all the cult stuff, throw the spoons and yell lines and all that. So hey, whatever people like to do, I guess.
And what's your personal thoughts on it now? I mean, do you still speak with Tommy or any of the crew?
I haven't spoken with Tommy since that screening.
Wow.
I haven't seen him anywhere. The only person I've until the mockumentary, I got to see some folks, which was great. But before that, Greg Sestero, and I saw him like at a screening in New York and at a screening in it was actually for his book up in Chicago, an event up there. And but I've seen a couple. That's about it, just events like that. But no, I haven't seen Tommy at all.
And what's your thoughts now on the fact that the book is obviously being made into a film by James Franco and Bryan Cranston's in it and all these big names? It must be mind-blowing.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And I'm so happy because Greg's like one of the best guys in the world, and he did such a great job with the book. So I think it's just fantastic.
It must seem quite surreal, to be honest, knowing that next year you could be going to the cinema and seeing these big people playing the parts that you were on.
Well, yeah, somebody's going to play me. I don't know who's playing me, but someone will be, and that's going to be pretty strange.
And obviously you just touched on there the new series that's coming out from Robin herself, The Room Actors, Where Are They Now?, which sounds unbelievable. Like, I'm really, really excited and hope we get the full kind of 10-part series. How's your involvement been with this?
Oh, I had a blast. I was so happy to come out and do something that was so fun. It's really going to be funny. I think people are really, really going to like it. I don't know how much it has to do with The Room. It's just, I mean, it does, it ties in, but it's just really, really wacky, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I believe you're playing yourself, but you're also showing parts of Stephen, is that right? So you're kind of Greg and Stephen, is this correct?
I'm playing I'm playing myself as a continuation of Kyle Vogt, just as my character was a continuation of Peter.
Brilliant. So that sounds quite interesting.
It was an interesting take. I basically I don't want to give it too much away. I don't want to give too much away about it.
We're really looking forward to it, and I'm sure the listeners out there will catch up with this next year, and we'll see and kind of find out exactly what happens to you. But it does sound quite intriguing.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about your life since The Room. Obviously, do you get people coming up to you in the street asking you to do quotes or shouting stuff at you, or is it quite nice and relaxed?
Yeah, I do. That was more when I was when I was still living on the West Coast. I live in small town in the Midwest now, and occasionally, there's still some people. I was actually just camping, and a guy at a campsite. We were kind of hanging out with with some college guys that were camping out at this park, and he recognized me and stuff. And it was just really weird to be recognized in the woods. You literally can't go anywhere with avoiding it. It could be in the middle of the woods, and you're still getting Room quotes said to you. Yeah. So there's no escape for sure.
And what else do you do now then? So what's your life like now?
I'm getting ready to move back to California. Just working a day job, selling a house. I'm working on I've started working on a play based on the novel Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. I've got a screenplay I've been working on for years. I have a potential job in California teaching acting exercises to juveniles in a juvenile hall. Just some different stuff like that. Just a big change coming. I have a very big change coming here.
Sounds really positive.
Yeah, it is. That's so unlike me. But yes, I'm actually going to go do some stuff. So I'm pretty excited about it. Theater-based. I'm trying to get into Actors Equity right now. Everything I'm doing right now is pretty much theater-focused.
So is there part of you that wants to carry on acting, or would you rather be the guy directing now or filming? Do you want to be in front of the camera or behind it?
I love stage acting, and I love producing. I think if I work on films, there's enough of an acting whore in me. I need to act too, but I really love producing. I love being part of everything and all of the aspects that go into it and putting the whole thing together. And that's I really have a good time with that. So I'd like to do some more of that kind of work on film.
And now looking back at your time on The Room, are you grateful for it? Are you bitter about it? Are you positive? Are you negative? Hand on heart, how do you feel about it?
Despite I kind of snapped on an email recently, but no, I am positive about it. It's cool, it's fun. And every now and then, if there's a screening where I am, I'll go and people love to talk and get autographs and all that kind of stuff. And it's good to do that for folks. People that are fans put a lot out there for it, so it's good to give back to people too, and they're having a good time.
So you're not ready to close the door on The Room yet?
No, I don't think I can. I don't think I'll be able to. It wouldn't make sense because it's not going to happen anyway. So fight it. I just really need to embrace it.
And you do realise next year that the graphic novel from Philip is coming out. We've got the series of The Room actors. Where are they now? We'll have Greg's filmed out with James Franco in cinemas. You're not going to be able to avoid it. It's going to blow up on a whole new scale. If it's bad now, it's going to get a lot worse.
Oh yeah, I was talking to some guys that are doing a play version, not to be confused with the musical, but a play version in Portland. It just goes on and on. I've been pixelated, for heaven's sakes. When's that going to happen? I mean,
you can run, but you.
I'm a little 8-bit guy in a video game now. I mean, that's crazy.
You can run, but you're not going to be able to hide. I'm sorry, but it's got you forever now.
It does. I just have to embrace it. So, and it's more. I find it more fun than I did at first. at first I was fighting it. Now it's a lot more fun to go do that kind of stuff.
Was there a time when you absolutely hated it and wish you could go back and wipe yourself away from that film?
Oh yeah, well immediately. I mean, I was like, okay, yeah, that was funny, but it was really bad, and I wasn't very good in it, and it wasn't good, so I didn't even put it on my resume at first until I had friends explain to me how, it's really a big thing, and it needed to be on my resume. So, with a link to a clip. So okay, we're doing it that way.
And what clip do you use then to show off your moment of greatness in the room?
They're all so brutal. They're all so bad. I guess generally they go to Robin and I explaining to Juliette's character Lisa how she shouldn't play games because Tommy is a very sensitive, or Johnny is a very sensitive person, and she's going to ruin our group of friends. And then of course the culmination of that is I feel like I'm sitting on an atomic bomb waiting for it to go off, and that's the kicker. That's my big line.
Nice. So my final question for you today. I've talked about it with Tommy. I've talked about it with Greg. If they were to do a Room sequel, which you never know, Tommy might do this. How do you see the story panning out? Would you be involved? How do you think? Do you think Johnny would actually be dead? Do you think he could be a ghost? Do you think he might come back alive? How do you see it?
I don't know. A prequel, maybe?
A prequel could work,
generally,
yeah.
when the main character's dead, that's how you have to do that. You'd have to go back to the beginning.
But he might not be dead. That bullet might have not killed him. He could have just been badly injured and becomes his. I think his idea was that he would become the opposite. So he'd be very successful, and Mark wouldn't, and Lisa wouldn't. And they'd be chasing him and wanting his attention. And he could be the guy in power, and the whole role switch.
Wow. Maybe, yeah. See.
Mind blown.
See what a bullet to the head will do for you? He'd shot himself in the head, he'd still be a wreck.
There you go. So a prequel. You're thinking more a prequel?
That would be my first guess as how to do that. But man, a sequel to The Room. Tommy could write. If anyone could write it, Tommy can write it.
And would you sign the contract and be part of it, or is that it now? That's done.
Unlike The Room, I'd probably want to see a script.
Best response ever. I appreciate your time today, and I wish you all the luck with everything and your move to California and everything that goes with it.
Thank you very much, Mark. It's been good talking to you.
So there it is, my interview with Greg Ellery, a really cool guy and so open and so willing and so positive to share his stories with me about what it was like to meet Tommy Wiseau for the very first time, what it was like to turn up on set, what it was like to audition for this unique, crazy film. It's been such a great experience to speak to every single person involved in this film, but that doesn't stop now. We have one more interview. And of course, we have Juliette Danielle, who plays the incredible Lisa in The Room. Now, this character is so crucial to the film because she's Johnny's girlfriend. She is the person that breaks his heart by having an affair with his best friend Mark. You will have seen anywhere stuff that features The Room having this girl in the red dress, the iconic Lisa. And again, I'm so grateful that I got to speak to her. This is one of the people that I didn't think I was going to get to be involved in this project. I was really working hard, but it paid off, and I'm so lucky, and I'm so happy that we kind of got that last piece of the jigsaw. So coming up now, here's me and Juliette talking all things The Room. So I just want to kick things off today by getting an insight to how you got involved with The Room.
Well, let's see. So the way that I got involved in The Room back in 2000, 2001, I just gotten here. And things weren't online then, so I submitted off of Backstage West. I actually mailed a headshot in. I heard that there was, supposedly a huge stack of headshots they went through, so I'm not exactly sure why they called me. But I just went in for the auditions, and I think I stayed there the longest, and that's one of the reasons I ended up where I did.
So was this audition like an hour, 2 hours, or was it ridiculous amounts of time? It's
getting harder to remember what it was actually like. it really reminds me of a theater audition. You know, most of the time when you're going to read for like film and television, it's very straightforward. You do something on camera and then you leave. But this was very much improv. We had to, you know, make up a monologue for the camera. We had Tommy coaching us on, you know, emoting different feelings, you know, based on a scenario he would give us. So yes, it did go for quite a long time.
So after you did this audition, was it a couple of weeks, or did you know there and then? Or I believe, was it Greg that was in charge and giving the calls back to let people know if they're successful?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. It has just been so long. Yeah, I think it was pretty quick. Things happened pretty quick, but we rehearsed for a long time. So the actual filming didn't start immediately.
Did you actually go to audition for the part of Lisa, or was it just a script reading for a part to be in this film, or was it specifically just to play Lisa, who was obviously the girlfriend of Johnny?
I was originally cast for the role of Michelle, so that's what I went in to read for. That's what I was cast for, you know, and contracted for. And I don't remember how many Lisas we went through, but switching over to Lisa was a little bit last minute.
Then, obviously, when you went on to day one of the filming, can you remember how it was? Did you get to meet all the cast that day, or was it just you and Tommy, or was it you and Greg, or how can you remember that now, or was it too long gone now?
The cast was together for a while. You know, it was just shuffled around because, you know, we were auditioning. So I saw some of the cast members then. Then when we moved into, you know, rehearsing, I saw them as well. And then, you know, one of the cool things is we were all on set together almost every day. So I got to know everyone very well. You know, we were all huddled in the tent waiting for our turn.
Amazing. I mean, even when I talk to all the cast now, even sort of 10, 15 years on, it seems that you guys have all kept in contact and you have good relationships between yourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's like, as much as I can explain what happened to you, like, I just remember when we worked on this, you know, mockumentary with Robin, and we all got a chance to sit down together and sort of fill in the gaps with our memories. Like, no one else will ever understand, you know, like what it was like to be there and, you know, experience this as an actor.
So that's what I was going to talk about next. So obviously this new documentary that there's been obviously 2 or 3 episodes filmed for at the moment, and hopefully we're going to get the full series 1. Robin's put a lot of hard work into this, and all the cast I've spoken to that have taken part have said how much they've enjoyed it and reminiscing. Tell me a little bit about this, because you're not actually playing Lisa, are you? You're playing yourself with elements of Lisa's life still in that. Is that right?
Yes, super fun. And, you know, also taking some of the bits of our lives that were true at the time that we shot The Room and sort of blowing it out of proportion a little bit. Like the whole drinking thing, like one of my things is every time I would leave the set, I would go karaoke and, you know, to the bar because I was young, and the next day you could just get up and go. So you see that in a little bit of what we shot. Obviously, I was not doing, you know, coke off of people's bums at that time. But, you know, that's the fun of getting to do this mockumentary. It's like it's way blown out of proportion, and we get to make fun of ourselves on purpose.
How much does it suck now that we're adults and we can't drink all night and party and not feel it the next day?
Yeah, so I'm about to turn 36, and a couple of years ago I was introduced to like the 2-day hangover, like from what wouldn't even, you know, have been anything of a problem before. So it sucks. It sucks a lot, and I'm adulting really hard right now.
My big worry now is that kind of in another 10 years, when you're sort of 44, 46, it's like a 3-day hangover. For every decade, it adds another day on. So I worry that kind of when I'm 40, 50, a drink will probably put me out for a week.
Oh, God, I hope not.
I miss the old days. I sound like an old man, but I remember when I was 15, or sorry, I shouldn't say 15, when I was 18, and I could get drunk all night and literally keep going and drink, and now I'm just like, oh, I don't know about that. The next day I've got stuff to do. It sucks being an adult, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have stuff to do. You know, there are some times where I am in bed at like 10, you know, because I've got an early morning. So
we're so old.
That's okay, though. That's okay.
The Room, I believe, at the moment, obviously, still to this day, a lot of people see it as an iconic film, a cult film. Here in the UK, Tommy brings the film every year to London, and they sell out the screen every night for about a week. It's like the Rocky Horror Show. People bring spoons, throw them at the screen. I'm sure you know how popular this film still is, and it keeps on growing. Does that blow your mind that after 14 years, people are still talking about this, quoting the film? It's mad.
It really does. And the cool thing is that I actually my ex-husband is British, and we went to visit London. And is it Leicester Square?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, in London, yeah.
And just getting to see like my own movie poster like in another country was just like really, it was kind of cool, So I took my picture next to it and everything.
And what do you feel about The Disaster Artist being made into a film now with James Franco and Bryan Cranston and Dave Franco? It's going to blow up again to a whole new level.
The good news is that I'm used to it, and so I don't have to like brace myself for new comments. But I'm excited because I think I'm going to be able to actually go into the theater and enjoy it. Where I obviously can't do that with The Room. I can with the mockumentary. So the mockumentary is really fun that I can participate in. And then this James Franco project, like, I can't wait to go to the theater and just sit in the front row and laugh.
And have you read much about it, or are you waiting to be surprised in the cinema? Have you read much about the cast, or Sharon Stone and other cast members like this, or? Yeah,
I'm trying not to spoil it. I spoke with the girl that's playing me. We had a conversation about that before she shot her scenes, which was great. But other than that, I'm kind of excited to just see how it turns out.
I do believe at this stage, and it's a big statement now, but I think that James Franco could bring The Room to a whole new audience, and unfortunately for you, you're going to get even more people probably shouting quotes at you across the street. Yeah,
the good thing is I'm not really recognizable anymore. I kind of lost the baby fat off my face, and that really makes a big difference getting, recognized on the street. So unless people are like following me now, like on my, Facebook page and stuff like that, then they probably won't recognize me. And that is okay with me.
You might have to get yourself a little disguise, like a top hat or something, or a fake moustache, just to stop "you're tearing me apart" across, because that's going to be on a whole new level.
The thing is, though, is the few times that I have been, stopped by fans and, people who want to, take the photos and everything, is I cannot believe how respectful people are in person. So it's like the exact opposite of the internet, where people are like, hey, I seen your boobs, yeah, and then in person, they're just super nice. They're like, hey, I just want to let you know that, like, this is my favorite movie, and I take all my friends to see it, and would you please take a picture with me? And then that just makes me feel good, like to know that other people are actually enjoying something that I did. So I like that.
It's a shame that there's not more of those people online, but they sort of like to hide behind their sort of keyboard and give all the abuse. But like you said, at least when you're out and about, those idiots stay behind their computers.
Yeah.
Do you look back at The Room and are you proud of your work, or are you do you wish you could go back and erase it, or are you kind of thankful and have you learned from the whole experience?
I get this question a lot, and I think like early on, I would have erased it so fast, like without even thinking about it. And, as far as my performance goes, it's like I really just didn't have the life experience that I have now in order to, I think, play Lisa a little bit different, like I would have liked to now. But I would never take that experience away. Like, I've met the most amazing people. I did a podcast many years ago and had such a good time. Found out the guys played Minecraft and liked WWE, and so we got on a Minecraft server and play together, and so none of that would ever happen. Like, all these awesome relationships all over the world that I have because of this, and the great friends that I have, with the cast. Like, I could never take that away.
That's one of my questions. Moving forward, have you kept in contact with pretty much everyone involved in The Room? I mean, have you spoke with Tommy since filming, or have you spoke with Greg?
Yeah, Greg and I speak. We've met up at a couple of the Comic Cons. I used to go to that almost yearly, the one that's in San Diego. I think the last time I saw Tommy was maybe Halloween, like 5 years ago or something, at one of the screenings. And, you know, he was very nice, gave me a hug, yeah, wished me well and everything. And then the rest of the cast is on Facebook, so we're able to, you know, keep track of what's going on in each other's lives. I've been able to watch Robin's kids grow up, which is awesome, and she's been able to watch my cats get fat. So
that's the good thing about Facebook. You get enough cat pics to last you for life.
Oh, I know. It's like my Instagram is all it's all my fluffy children.
That's amazing, and hopefully, you know, some pictures of WWE and what you're eating. That seems to be another thing that everyone wants to post nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. I'm all on board with that.
That's good to hear. So, just touching there, obviously I said, did you speak to the rest of the cast? Pretty much everyone involved is involved in this project that Robin's worked extremely hard at. The room actors, where are they now? We've heard that there's 3 episodes being shown. I know she's touring at the moment, going to a lot of kind of film festivals, and the response has been fantastic. How do you see the story panning out and working as a 10-part series?
I actually have no idea the diabolical genius that Robin is, what she's got planned. We did see more script, so there's already more to do. And actually, there's so much that fell on the cutting room floor. I think that if we could get this series fleshed out a little bit, that I don't know. I just think it would be a lot richer to see, you know, the storyline for each character develop.
What I've seen of the footage so far, and it's obviously only been trailers and little clips that have been online, I'm blown away by the production value. It just looks like something like Friends or something like that. It looks like this massive sort of budgeted sort of comedy humour done so well. It looks incredible.
I agree with you. That was one of the reasons that, you know, I wanted to be involved in this, is she hired, you know, the right people who not only were good at their jobs, but also passionate specifically about this project. You know, we're all connected to the room in some way, either being like a huge fan or, you know, knowing someone that worked on it. So I was so pleased with the way that it came out. Like, I was just grinning the whole time I watched it, you know, for the first time.
I myself am rooting for you. I'm so excited that hopefully next year someone will come in and budget this for the whole 10 parts. And then we'll get the story that everyone probably wants to see, because to get 3 episodes is going to be an absolute teaser, and it's going to leave everyone wanting more. So I'm really hoping it does get the full shebang.
Me too. That song that she has about the dog.
It's incredible.
Thing ever. I get that stuck in my head all the time.
It's genius. So what do you do now? I mean, obviously 12, 14 years on from the room, how do you spend your days? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I do graphic design and marketing from home, and social media, and that keeps me pretty busy. I volunteer a lot at church. That's pretty much it. You
forgot to stay taking photos of your cats all day.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, I think I have 4 now.
You think?
Yeah, I know, I'm just kidding.
And what else interests you? Have you got any hobbies? What sort of TV and film are you into? Are you into film still, or?
I love watching films. I like action movies, comedy. I just watched Bad Moms.
Do you know what? I watched that on a plane last week, and I wasn't expecting much. And I was on holiday, and I was just choosing what was available, and I stuck that on, thinking this looks a bit crap. Put it on, and I loved it. I thought this was an hour and a half of just pure, really well-made humour.
Absolutely. And it's like, you don't have to be a mom to appreciate it. I think we can all, like, appreciate wanting to just stop trying so hard.
It's just so good to see him let the hair down and just go with it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that.
What would you like to say to all the fans listening now, the people that aren't arseholes behind their keyboards and giving you grief? What do you want to say to those fans that have stuck with the room and kind of it's a place in their heart?
Well, I want to say that, first of all, the people who are actually the room fans, not just people who've seen the room once, but the actual fans, they are a spectacular group of people. I've had a chance to meet many of them, you know, after the screenings and before. And I want to say thank you. And I want to say that I'm glad that you guys are watching it and bringing your friends and finding a way to have a good time. And again, thank you.
So there it is, the interview with me and Juliette, an interview I didn't think I would ever get. It took a lot of work and a lot of time, but I'm so happy and it paid off. A really, really fun interview. It really was a pleasure to speak to Juliette and hear these stories again from the iconic Lisa in the room. I'm so grateful, I can't say it enough, for the time that they've taken to talk to me. Every single member from the cast has taken their time to talk to me. It's been a fun 8 months. I hope you guys at home have really enjoyed it. The best thing about this is it's not over. In a couple of months' time, we're going to get the Room mockumentary, The Room Actors, Where Are They Now? It's coming to Funny or Die, and I can't wait to see it. We've heard about it from each and every member of the room, and it just sounds to be hilarious. I'm so excited for Robin and this project. So go over to Twitter and give them a follow, at The Room Actors, or if you're on Facebook, go on there and just type in Room Actors Mockumentary and give them a like. We'll have trailers, we'll have updates, there'll be loads of news coming up until the release in November, so please stay tuned for that. A huge thank you to Robin Paris. Without this, none of these interviews would have happened. I'm so grateful for you taking the time and putting me in contact with the rest of the cast. A huge thank you to Philip. A great interview, a great guy, and I'm so looking forward to reading his comics on the room and his own podcast. Carolyn, Dan, Greg, Juliette, I owe you all loads. It's been such a pleasure and it's just been an amazing ride, and I hope you guys at home have enjoyed it as much as I have. If you haven't seen The Room and you've listened to these 6 interviews, you're crazy. You need to go out there now, get on Tommy Wiseau's site, go to the Prince Charles in London, do whatever you need to do to see The Room, and tweet me or Facebook me your reaction, because it's such a unique film, and I'm sure you can gather by now in the amount of time I've spent on these interviews, I'm obsessed. I absolutely love the movie. I can't believe that we're getting The Disaster Artist at Christmas time. It looks incredible. The trailer made me laugh for about 2.5 minutes, and I think that James Franco's nailed it. And hey, we're even getting Oscar talk, which is just absolutely crazy. Again, I want to thank you guys at home for listening. It's been such a great experience. We've had all of the cast members. We've had Greg Sestero on the Disaster Artist special. It's just been unbelievable. But something doesn't seem right, and we've all been talking about Tommy Wiseau. We've all been talking about what it was like to meet him, what it was like to work for him. Tommy Wiseau is the reason we have all these interviews. Tommy Wiseau is the reason we have The Room. And Tommy Wiseau is the reason we have The Disaster Artist. He's all over the internet at the moment. He went to the premiere of The Disaster Artist and took a mic and started interviewing all of the cast. It doesn't seem right that I've not interviewed him for Mark and Me. It just doesn't sit right. It doesn't feel like this project is complete. So the good news is I've got an hour's interview with him. And yes, it's only 2 episodes away. So on episode 20, in a week's time, I've got a special guest to celebrate us hitting the big 2-0. But straight after that, I've got a good hour's interview with me and Tommy himself. It is gold, and there is so many laugh out loud moments. It's going to be a hell of a ride for you all. So stay tuned. Episode 20 is only a week away. Keep on looking on Twitter and Facebook, or go on markandme.com, because I'm going to be dropping loads of hints of who it is. It's a huge interview. And then, hey, a couple of weeks later, we'll have Tommy Wiseau himself. Thanks again for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll speak to you again in a couple of weeks' time.